Hello, who have we got here this morning? Morning being in the UK, that is. So I'm guessing this summer morning, it's likely going to be someone in America. Who are you? Reveal yourself. Who have we got here? Got a few, six people. Well, normally when I stream, normally takes good few minutes to get a couple of viewers. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Hello, Air Jordan. How you doing? Hey Jamie, how's it going? Been a while. Well, it has. If you've been following my uploads recently for the past, I don't know, week and a half, you would have seen fresh new stuff. Outrun. Yesterday I did a very cool upload for the original 1993 Doom with the ray tracing guide. So I'm trying to be dynamic. I'm trying to breathe fresh life into the channel, and I think that's working. Um, yeah, so I've been too busy really with editing that type of stuff. So I thought to myself, I just done a little bit of painting. If anyone here is into Warhammer, I've just been painting a few Gene Stealers. Anyways, yeah, and I thought to myself, I'm getting a bit, I wouldn't say bored, but give my vision a bit of a rest. So, yeah, I thought to myself, let's do a stream and do a little catch up with people. So, yeah, what's people thinking of the recent content then? What I've been uploading? Like I say, if you've been following what I upload, been doing a hell of a lot of new, fresh stuff. One of the videos I uploaded the other day was for Higun. Higun multi-emulator. It's been on my list for God knows how long. Um, I got a massive list of videos to do, and that list continues to extend almost every day. So yeah, I finally did Higun the other day, which is an absolutely superb multi-emulator, especially for Super Nintendo, Game Boy, and Nintendo NES. Very close to BizHawk, BizHawk being likely the best system for Sega Saturn. So yeah, I did BizHawk quite some time ago. And if anyone here is interested in Sega Saturn, BizHawk is the business for Sega Saturn emulation. I'm not a massive Saturn fan, but from what I read, it's right up there. BizHawk being the very best. Uh, and yeah, doing Higun multi emulator yesterday, or was it a couple of days ago? I could see the quality and the accuracy there personally with Super Nintendo games, even the sound. So a lot of people assume that emulators just run games, but like I say, if you want accuracy, you've really got to go deep and deep and deep and see what's the best in. Yeah, so sorry, been slacking on viewing your content, but I'm going to get back into it. There's no pressure, no pressure. I actually reached 19,000 subscribers yesterday, I think it was. So yeah, new subscribers coming in currently at 19,073. So really these days on my channel, my subscribers are just coming in by the masses, and never did I think I would get so many subscribers in really just a short space of time. But a lot of people enjoy what I do. I've had really positive comments. People sort of say, "Well done, you're an asset to the retro gaming community for preservation, that type of thing." Cheers, Biggie. So, yeah, everything's looking really good. Really good. What else have I done? So if you've not seen today's videos, Biggie, I continued the Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast PC tweaking video. So a few days ago, I uploaded a recent tweak. So we're on GitHub, a real awesome coder put a tweak together. Outrun for a 2006 2005 game looks incredible, like really awesome with this tweak. So, anyways, I went on to do a second part. Someone requested I upload a guide for texture packs. So I did that earlier today, around 6 hours ago. And really, with the tweaks in the texture pack included, Outrun from what almost 20 years ago, it looks absolutely stunning. The video with the gameplay, I've looked back at it, doesn't really do it much justice up until when you've actually got it in front of you. And just remember, Outrun 2006 is freeware. You can download that for absolutely free. No copyright issues with that. You can download it on my abandonware. Personally, I downloaded the ISO version, the ISO image of it, in worked from there. But yeah, absolutely incredible. What else am I doing? Yes, I did mention the Doom ray tracing mod, and of course, Doom is probably classic 1993. Doom is probably the most modded game in history, I'd imagine. Well, that game has been modded packs, likely since its release in 1993, and it continues today. Oh, Mr. Sajano mentioned it. Yeah, I do watch Mr. Sajano from time to time. Didn't realize he covered it actually, but yeah, really recommend its channel. Really good. The last one I watched of Mr. Sajano was a few days ago, I think it was. He's out and about in the mountains on his walks that Mr. Sajano does, and he's talking about 2 straight minutes about butterflies or something, or dragonflies. And I don't even think it was a real dragonfly. I think it was his partner, and she's wobbling this dragonfly around his head. And it's like, yeah, just get on with the emulation use. But yeah, I love Mr. Jano, really. I should watch more of his stuff. Yeah, another one I watch, I've probably said before, another one I watch is Metal Jesus Rocks. And I know he's got a lot of haters out there, but I like I like Metal Jesus Rocks. I especially like his trips to Japan. What he's done. Back in the day, it was Angry Video Game Nerd Cinemassacre, but nowadays I just think AVGN. He's not been the same for a very long time. It's like a long time ago. AVGN, he pretty much created the whole episode thing on YouTube, the whole series type thing. I was watching it so far back. I remember when he was doing Board James, which was piss taking out of ridiculous board games from from the 80s. One of them was Dream Phone. Oh, just absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I think uh, James, Angry Video Game Nerd, just I don't particularly find him funny. It could be that because I've watched him for so long, I'm just bored of the same old stuff. It could be that. I'm not sure. But I remember actually when AVGN he released a Christmas episode, would have been around 2016, 2017. He had an elf, and at the time they're testing out all of these ridiculous contraptions for it was the Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive. All these weird, stupid contraptions like infrared ray lasers and stuff. In them ways, him and this elf were just totally demolishing this little rule area. And my kids at the time absolutely loved it. A very good episode. And I think that was the last Angry Video Game Nerds episode. I enjoyed it. It was just absolutely hilarious, that one. My kids, man, they were in stitches watching that at the time. All right, Amiga. I want to say Amiga, but I know Omega. Omega means power. I think it's Greek for power, something along those lines, possibly. Which is quite likely why we got the Amiga. Obviously, sounds like Omega meant power. Could be wrong there with that word, Amiga. But being a Marilyn Manson fan, if anyone likes Marilyn Manson, Mechanical Animals album, it was based on his character, which was Amiga, and I'm sure I looked it up at the time what that actually meant. And yes, something to do with power or superiority or something. Yeah, so I am right. Yeah, I got such a great memory. Literally, I looked up that word years ago, probably in the early 2000s, late 90s. I thought, what is this Omega thing? And of course, if anyone knows anything about David Bowie, Marilyn Manson's a big Bowie fan, and David Bowie would constantly create new characters rather than be himself. And yeah, I think that's where Mr. Manson came up with that. The name comes from a transformer. You know what Transformers? It was slightly before my time. My brother used to like Transformers originally in the 80s. Brother's 5 years older than me, so yeah, he was born 1978 ish. So obviously he's seen more of that sort of era than I did. And then obviously the Transformers came back with the Michael Bay films. Is it Michael Bay? Those ridiculously overhyped, outrageously budgeted films. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Biggie. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what the actual definition of amigo is. The last letter of the Greek alphabet. Okay, so I was right. It's definitely Greek. What is the meaning of being a mega? Hierarchy, superiority. Yeah. So I'm sort of on the right lines there, I suppose. This hierarchy determines how people interact with another in romantic, erotic, or sexual content. Well, that goes pretty deep. So I'm not going to be talking any more about that, but yeah, but years ago, talking about Transformers, still my brother, I always remember my brother had this particular Transformer, and I don't remember his name, but it was like a purple, almost like a jet, like a like a just it was a purple color and it was long, almost like a jet it was, and most of it was metal, aluminium, I suppose, whatever it was, and some of it was plastic. I just can't think for the life of me what it was, but I always remember him having that. When he never had an Optimus Prime, though, what he did have was the 18 figures, and those figures, man, they were just bizarre. The original 18 figures of the 80s, their bodies were plastic. They weren't they wasn't really flexible, but their heads were rubber. And it's like, just let me just say, I think modern day toys have come on a hell of a long way. Let's check this out. Yeah, yeah, all of them. You had Hannibal, Murdoch, Mr. T, the face. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, this is the figures my brother had back in the day, and he's likely still got them to this day somewhere. But this is what I mean, Mr. T. You don't look right. Right, here's the rubber faces I'm talking about. You got these plastic bodies, and the flexibility of them were just terrible. So we got the face, Mr. T or B.A. Baracus, Murdoch, and Hannibal. And yeah, just you know what the weird thing is, I don't remember seeing any of those accessories. Likely they got thrown away or lost over the years. But yeah, man, the 18 when I was a kid, I used to love that. He never had the 18 van. That's one thing he didn't have. Yeah, I had the Mr. T. Mr. T, man, what an epic character. You know what? You might know already, but Mr. T actually had a song. It was a chart song in the 80s. If you just, I wouldn't play it for copyright reasons, but if I was to put in a Mr. T song, can't think. You know, Eddie Murphy is another one. Party something party it was called. There you go, Mr. T. Treat your mother right. That's just for fun. Surely this isn't copyrighted.
Back you up to take off your face. Well, you're
wouldn't be here.
treat her right. Treat her right. Treat your mother right. Treat her right. Treat her right.
Mother, there is no other like mother, so treat her right. Mother, I always love her. My mother, so treat her right. Treat her right. M is for the moan and the miserable groan from the pain that she felt when I was born.
Yeah, well, I'll leave it there with Mr. T. Let's just say that bloke was multi-talented. I don't know, in Britain, I'd imagine it was probably around 17 years ago. He actually had a show on British TV in the afternoons. It was called, what was it called? Something. It was kind of like one of those programs where you'd submit doing stupid things on camera. What was it called? I Pity the Fool. That's what it was called. Hey Jamie, got a bunch of ROM hacks from different systems. How do I add them to retrobat and give their own uh, ROM hacks for different systems? How do I give them? Let's see. Well, you got yourself quite a job there. The trouble is with ROM hacks is that some ROM hacks might have specific artwork. Now, let me give you an example. The other day, I did a retrobat guide for Sonic 3 Air, and if you was to try and scrape it, because it's named so weirdly, it was in a .bin file, but it was named so weirdly that I manually had to edit the metadata and scrape the artwork for that game. Now, the trouble with the ROM hacks is that not all of them has official artwork. So, in terms of wills, that type of thing, it might be a case of using generic wills. Let's say, for example, you've got a ROM hack of the first Mario Brothers game from 1985 on the NES. Uh, you might just have to bite the bullet and just get that um, the normal will artwork. I would just manually do it. So that's how I would do it. And as you know, a lot of these ROM hack type games they got really bizarre wordings before the file extension, like all sorts. Now, something else I would suggest you doing is making a favorites folder and naming it ROM hacks. That's what I would do. And then you got yourself your favorites folder, ROM hacks folder, and then you'd have all your games in there. So obviously, to do this, you'd have to put each one of your games into a separate folder representing that system. But then once you're in Retrobat, you can then start picking those games out from each system and chucking them into your ROMAX folder of favorites. That's how I would still. I think someone actually asked me about that the other day. So yeah, like Biggie agrees. Pretty much what I'm saying. It can be a very tedious job doing that. Personally, I'm not really into ROM hacks, but I know ROM hacks are quite a thing. So yeah, that's what I would do. If you want me to, I can quickly boot up Retrobat right now and just give you a quick little guide how to create the collections favorites. Just let me know when I literally boot up now. Anyways, I've been going on and on. Like I always say, if anyone wants to donate to the channel to support what I do, please use the PayPal just there. Please don't use YouTube because they take away like 75% and not that much, but a lot. So please, I'm always grateful for donations and always will be. But yeah, going back to ROM hacks. Okay, Amiga, let's open up Retrobat. Okie dokes. Okie dokes. So I'm just checking if you can all see what I'm doing here. I think a little while ago during the stream, I opened up the front end and no one could see what I was doing. So let me just use my phone here to sync in with what I'm doing to see if you can see what I can see, and I'll get straight onto it. Da, 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 da. Hmm? Oh, you can see this. That's cool. Okay, so it looks like you can see what I can see, so that's good. So, here's our favorites folder. I used this actually literally the other day for Sonic 3 Air, which is an absolutely amazing revamp, pretty much of Sonic 3 on Mega Drive or Sega Genesis. Okay, so let's pretend you want. We're talking about ROM hacks. Okay, so we'll go into Nintendo NES and let's pretend MC Demo here is a ROM hack. So what I would do is, first of all, if I hold my button down, which is my A button on my Xbox controller, first of all, I'd go to edit this game's metadata and then press A on name. And now, obviously, a title like this, the way this file is worded, it's not going to scrape anything, or it's very unlikely. So, what I would do, let's just pretend this game is McDonald's. And yes, there was McDonald's games years ago. So let's just type out a new name for this one. Just remember, we're pretending this is a ROM hack game called McDonald's. I would then go to the bottom and save it. So the game is now McDonald's. What I would do next is go to scrape again by pressing the A button on my Xbox controller. Keep button pushed down for a couple of seconds. Go to scrape. Okay, so there's something from Screen Scraper which is identified that naming convention, which is McDonald's Demo 2, whatever that is. So let's just pretend that's the game you want. And okay, so it's not got any artwork. Anyways, that's how I would get the artwork to begin with. Secondly, I would hold the A button again and go down to add to favorites. So it's now got a star on, and that's been added into my favorites folder. And here it is. Now, there is a way of creating a list inside your favorites. I'm just trying to think how I do this. So I'd press start button, go to game collection settings, and I would then go down to create new editable collection, enter name, and I'm going to call this folder ROM hacks. Okay, so here we go. We got favorites, and that's actually randomly just okay. It's cool. So the way I've just done this, I've generated a collections list, which I wasn't expecting, but it's happened anyway. And in here, I've got ROM hacks, but that isn't opening up anything. This I've put nothing in there. So I'm gonna go. Really sorry to confuse you. So I'm gonna go back to favorites. And under collections, I can now add that to the ROM hacks folder. So under collections, ROM hacks, I've now got my McDonald's ROM hack game, which is actually a very cool Nintendo NES game, which I discovered today. I did a video on it. Cool Mac, just the way I've just named it. This is it. It's a great game. Anyways, if you like to look at that video, I did do a full video on that game. So that's called Mischief Castle, and that's an awesome, awesome game. I follow the Commodore 64 scene a lot. That's what I do in my spare time. Every now and again, I'll take a look into Nintendo NES games. Since I've seen the modern NES games, I'm not too impressed. That one in particular is definitely worth people's time. It's a really cool game, and I think the actual full game is on offer at the moment for $4.99. But it's a game that I'm going to end up buying, I'd imagine, a digital copy of it. It's just such a great game. It's so well done. How do I feel about retrobat hard drives from AliExpress? I don't feel anything. Um, I did a video actually a little while back, about 3 weeks ago, on why you should avoid buying preloaded hard drives. The reason being, and I'll say it again, is that firstly, if anything goes wrong with these preloaded hard drives, let's say, for example, you've got hyperspin. You buy it, something goes wrong with it, and you've got no knowledge about how it works. You're then lumbered. You've then got, say, £200, $200 worth of hard drive, which is useless. You can't do anything. For something like retrobat, which is a lot simpler, wouldn't be so bad. But it's not something I recommend personally. I recommend anyone build your own. That's what my channel is about. I did a little bit of a job for someone the other day in California. He bought one of these. Someone just said 12 terabyte. Funny enough, I'm pretty sure. No, it's a 4 terabyte he bought. He bought it, and it was an absolute mess. Like I was just saying, actually, it proved my theory right at the time that you buy stuff, and if anything goes wrong, you've no idea what's going wrong because you've got no knowledge of it. So, anyways, I worked on it for him, and in the end, I must have deleted around a terabyte of just random nonsense on there, which it was a mess. The person who put this hyperspin front end together for him, it was just beyond shocking how much just random stuff was on the drive not needing to be there. In the end, he just agreed, well, do me retrobat. So I did a very good retrobat setup instead. Uh, but talking about hyperspin, if anyone's interested, I don't recommend that at all anymore. Hyperspin is just, to me, it's a pain in the ass. I did a part one setup guide for a hyperspin around a year ago, I think it was, and it was a bit of a pain at the time to find particular files required by it. Uh, I, so yeah, now I'm not too familiar with AliExpress. I've heard of it. I've never used it. But yeah, seriously, for what people charge, I mean, most of the time it's more of a case of these people. They're literally copying their own image onto a new hard drive. Then they're posting it out, and they're charging 200, maybe $300 profit. And it seems as well to me, from what I've seen of things myself online, the hard drives these people are using are terrible. Uh, if you want a very good front end system, firstly, I would go for one of the modern day drives, such as NVMe. Is it NVMe? Uh, you know, really fast, lightning fast. Uh, some of these sellers, they're still using USB 2. Even USB 3 is good, but there's better around nowadays, and that's my point. They're charging you way too much for just nonsense, and that's it. Yeah, just got a bit of a hatred towards that type of thing, but it could be me. Kin Hank, decent builds, but still building your own. James said exactly. I'm one of those people personally where I like to do things myself. You, you know, let's just say, for example, models, which most people here know I love doing, painting models. I love doing it. Like I like doing DIY. I love decorating. I'd rather decorate myself than say get someone else to do it, because I can sit down at the end of the day and look at it and think, oh, I've done that, you know. And same for front end systems. It's like you will then get all the knowledge, and if anything goes wrong, you know. Yeah, if anything goes wrong, you know what's gone wrong. You can investigate it. So I can understand why people would buy the pre-built ones, but it's just something I wouldn't recommend at all. You know, just to finish this off, one of the things in particular, hyperspin, um, by far, you would need to understand hyperspin. If anything went wrong, hyperspin is highly complex, very complex, probably one of the most complex front ends out there. And yeah, it would help to have a little bit of knowledge if anything did go wrong. So exactly, Biggie. It makes sense. I've got so much content on my channel at this point, and like I say, I've got such a long list of things to do. It don't end. Some I've been investigating actually recently, which I've never done on the channel before, apart from a retrobat video. It's for the Sharp XC8000. Uh, Anyone that doesn't know about the Sharp XC8000 was pretty much a Japanese Amiga computer of its time, and the original CPS-1 arcade games, Capcom games, were pretty much designed, coded using one of these computers. And good God, the Sharp in the west of the world is a highly, highly underrated computer. It's absolutely superb. I'll just randomly, if anyone's interested in Sharp, let me just give you an example. Put a random video on and you all can get a little glimpse of what it is. This is actually someone I watch from time to time just here, RMC, The Cave. Very good British computer museum type channel. Uh, let's just type in games. You know what? Top 5 games. C8000.
Dollars, warriors were falling out of style with merit to its subgenre. Like, this game has everything: juggle combos, dashing attacks which can be spammed, anti-airs, throws, and bullets with different speeds. There are so many techniques for so
Well, that's pretty random. All right, so this is Final Fight. I'm guessing everyone knows of Final Fight. You must have. It's a big popular game. But anyway, this is the Sharps version of Final Fight. Yeah, close to the arcade this is. Come on! Oh no. So as you can see just there, the music sounds pretty much like the arcade game. Everything about it, the size of the sprites, just spot on. So obviously you've got the boss just here, and he jumps over to the wall and then he whistles. Just want to check this out. And there you go. Even the whistle the boss makes just there, it just sounds identical to the arcade. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at the moment. Besides a million other things I'm planning to do on the channel. Uh, don't know if you can see this, but I've got 2 pages on my phone. 2 documents, probably around 5 to 6 pages. I've got two of these, and they're full up with content to cover. It won't end. My channel won't end, and there's always stuff going to be coming. So coin ops made me forget about hyperspin. You know what, John? Coin ops is actually based on a tracked mode. It's either a tracked mode, I'm sure it is, or it's retro FE. I've covered both of those on my channel as main setup guides, and this is it. Another thing with hyperspin is that a lot of files aren't too accessible these days. But hyperspin, I think hyperspin was very popular, probably 13 to 15 years back. At which point I was new to emulation ish, and I tried learning it, but it's like I didn't have the knowledge back then like I do today, so I just gave up with it. But that's how old it is. Retro F in a trap mode, of course, they're fairly old, but they're more recent than Hyperspin, and there's a lot more content around for Retro FE and attract modes. And yeah, CoinOps, it looks a lot like Hyperspin if you put the right layouts in there. You can get layouts or themes for Retro FE and attract modes, and you can make either one of those look just like Hyperspin. So you've got the carousel, the wheel, and everything with joysticks at the bottom, just like Hyperspin would. I just personally, I think Hyperspin is just too overrated and it's too much of a headache, and there's no need of it nowadays. I swear there isn't. I even did a video for Retrobat a while back. A really good theme maker. I think it was Scotty Retro, who does a lot for Retrobat in that community. He came up with Hypermax. Hypermax, I did a video on it, how to add it into Retrobat. Hypermax is pretty much a CoinOps looking theme for Retrobat. Let me just show you if I can find it. Hypermax. Hypermax. How did I spell it? Was it under CoinOps? Yeah, Hypermax. This is what I titled it. Make Retrobat look like CoinOps. So just check this out. How this
Okay, so
looks.
very quick video today. This is introducing Hypermax theme for.
So this is Hypermax theme, and as you can see, this is pretty much a combination of the Hyperspin look and some. Let me just go back and start.
And here we go. That I use for setup guides, but obviously once you start adding your games into retro.
You know what? I'm actually going to add that into Retrobat uh, on my computer now for my setup. It's a very, very nice looking layout or theme for Retrobat, and I'm pretty sure in this video I put the link for yeah, there it is. The downloads for this is here. So go to site. So yeah, this theme, it's quite a big boy theme. As you can see, it's like just over. So yeah, I'm going to download that. Yeah, just totally reminded myself it's a really awesome looking theme. I'm sure a lot of you here watching will likely agree. It's pretty cool. And I don't think you can actually download this theme in retrobat itself, or the last time I looked, you couldn't. And yeah, the good thing is with this thing is that the uploader uploaded it to Mega. I think there's a 5 GB download limit until it starts charging you. So yeah, it's nice. 3 GB, so you can download it for nothing. Very cool stuff. So within that video, the Hypermax video I did for Retrobat, how to set that up, I don't actually think I went into folders and subfolders. So I don't think I see what it actually looks like properly set up. I just showed you the main wheel, system wheel. But I'll tell you what, if anyone using Retrobat likes the look of that, I'll leave a link here to that video and you can set it up for yourselves and use it. It's a bit hid away in my Retrobat playlist, but definitely worth checking out that one. Okay, so it's downloaded. So what I'm going to do with this, it's the Hypermax theme. It downloads into his zip folder. All you need to do is extract the folder inside of the zip folder you download. Just drag it onto the desktop. Yeah, this could take a little while to do this, as we know it's a very big download or layout, or keep saying layouts theme, I suppose. So yeah, John Phillips, stick with me, stick with my channel. You'll go a long way. If you ever need any retrobat questions answered, or you're looking for videos, unless you want to be treated like an idiot, don't use the retrobat forums. A lot of people complain about the retrobat forums. I personally had issues in the forums myself with admin. Actually did a video on it. So many people agreed with calling the retrobat team out that many people actually subscribed through that video. And people, it's actually a big news video as well. Yeah, dreadful. So stick with just Jamie for Retrobat. As a lot of you will know, that's the backbone of the channel, as well as many other things. So yeah, Retrobat, great front end system, one of the very best. Okay. Okay, Aperture, thanks for the video. Some great tips. Oh, that's okay. No worries. Right, so yeah, still extracted. Like I say, that's a big ass extraction going on. Just there's a hell of a lot of content in that zip. Okie doke. Okay, I'm going to do this again, but anyone wants to support my channel, please send donations to this PayPal address just there. I'm always grateful for donations, support the channel, and yeah, so I'm always happy, always grateful for donations. Okay, is that finished extracting? Good God, 20 seconds. Don't you people hate it where you're extracting something and it will go from 30 seconds like it just was, and then it will go on to like 30 minutes. It's like, for God's sake, man, just extract. You know what, Biggie? Funny enough, I've actually been looking at retrobat again. As much as I love Launchbox and it's a great premium system, I'm actually using a bit of retrobat myself to do gameplay videos. For example, I did the new Nintendo NES game video where I actually used retrobat to do that one. So it's just really, it's just for what I do on my channel, it's just easier rather than putting it into Launchbox and all that. It's just a lot easier that way. Right, is this extracted? It has. Blimey. Blimey. Right, so this is a Hypermax theme. What we need to do with this is open up the retrobat directory, right click, open file location, emulation station folder, .emulation station, and you'll get a themes folder inside. Just drag that Hypermax theme inside. So if we now open up retrobat, okay, so if we want to apply it, just hit main menu, user interface settings, and you'll find Hypermax just here. Here you go, Hypermax. Awesome. Isn't this amazing? So, yeah, Hypermax. Totally recommend this one. Let's just scrape some artwork for 3D Pool. I've randomly got a Commodore 64 game here called 3D Pool. I know the game, just no idea why it's actually in this folder. So let's see what this looks like. But yeah, if you see what I mean, everything about this is like Hyperspin. The only thing it's missing is the joysticks at the bottom. But having said that, you can then go on to customize themes. So main menu, user interface settings, theme configuration, and from here you've got lots of different options for this particular theme. So we got theme icons set. It's going to be used in PlayStation 1 icons by the seems of it. That's the default. If we went to arcades, come out. So yeah, as you can see, the buttons at the bottom there, arcade. So there are 6 action buttons there with a 1 player on the menu. So what else have we got? You know what? People might criticize Bubsy, but I thought Bubsy for the Super Nintendo was a game I had as a kid. I love Bubsy so much. I've actually got Bubsy tattooed on my arm. He's actually holding a controller just there. So looks a little bit as some asshole I know say manic. He looks manic. Goes with my personality, I suppose. I'm not sure, but another story. So theme configuration, theme menu. You know, you've got loads of different themes in here for the main menu. I mean, look at this. How cool is this? So yeah, I don't think many people know of this theme. I uploaded a video for this quite a while back. And you know, obviously, the when you go into a system using Hypermax, when you go into a system, they're all the same, but you can go on to then customize how they look, or we should be able to. So game view style, we can put this down to say game carousel, or even coin ops. Let's try this. Okay, so we go into say what's in Super Nintendo? No artwork. Okay, Mega Drive. So it looks like I might need to download some artwork, but we'll see what coin ops look like. To me, that looks pretty smart. So hopefully, if this scrapes preview videos, obviously the arcade machine just there will have, yeah, well, it should do. So there we go. Yeah, totally love this one. I forgot how cool this was. Anyways, I'll turn this off in a bit, but yeah, theme sound. Wow, what's this? Quit out of there. A lot of you will probably know what I'm talking about with things like that. It's like you get hooked on it, customizing things. Okay, just received a donation from a Chris. If you're here, Chris, please raise your hands. Yeah, thanks. If that's if you're here, Chris, thanks for the donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Biggie, that's you, is it? Nice one. I really appreciate that. Cool beans. Thank you very much, sir. So, what's everyone wanting from the channel then? So, I've been talking about doing a bit of Sharp XC8000. No one actually commented on that when I showed you the gameplay. Is that a bad thing or no? I'm not sure. Yeah. Is it Biggie? Biggie is in the rapper. Biggie, is that what your username is about? Oh, I've been using batocera booting. Yeah, I said before, I've got a playlist for batocera. I totally recommend batocera. I'd always say it's pretty much the equivalent of retrobat, only with batocera you're not getting teknoparrot. But having said that, batocera's actually got a few extra systems retrobat doesn't have. So yeah. If I had a spare computer, in fact, if I was to build an arcade cabinet, which one day I will do again, I have done it before, I will likely use Batocera. So I've got a dedicated mini computer or whatever in there, and I've put Batocera in it without a doubt. Because as you boot straight into Batocera. That's a good thing about it. Hello, Rev. How you doing? Good to see you again. Yeah, not been doing a stream for a little while. I did say at the start of this stream, I've been very busy doing lots of research and stuff like that. No, just a nickname my friends gave me years ago because I've always been a heavy set fella. Oh no. Yeah, Batacera is good, but a lot of complaints with Batacera is that the issue is with Batacera is that yeah, no techno parrot, and a lot of people want to set arcade systems up. A lot of people like to have techno parrot in. That's the only issue with Batacera. Having said that, a lot of you probably don't know, but you can actually boot up a computer with retrobat. So I did a video on it. So if anyone wants to boot up a computer running retrobat, instead of bypassing Windows, you can literally boot it straight into retrobat. It can be done. I've done a video on it. Raise on batocera, kick him my raise on batocera. I'm not sure what you mean, Rev. Boot off SD card USB 3.2 runs great. Might try retrobat off never. Yeah, I did do the booting into retrobat video. I did do it a long time ago. Was it called Auto Boot? As a lot of you probably know, I've done so many retrobat videos, and recently I've been renaming them and I've been changing thumbnails, and it's a little bit of a pain in the ass right now to actually find the videos I've done this. I've renamed a lot of them. Retrobat boot, auto boot into retrobat. Yeah, I knew losing the plot. I did do it. There it is. Okay, so for a long time, yeah. So I'll leave the link just there in the. And, yeah, watch the video. It's about 3 minutes long. It's not that hard. I wouldn't have thought it was that technical for 3 minute video. Uh, Such a long time ago because I cover so much stuff I forget. But yeah, Biggie, you can, like I say, you can boot into retrobat there, and like I said, it's such a long time ago I did it. I totally forgotten how you do it. But like I said, for a 3 minute video, it likely isn't that difficult to do. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up there for tonight. For anyone that has watched my streams, you know, after around an hour, my throat goes really dry and it's beginning to happen now. But these streams they just go round so quickly, and it's like all of a sudden it's 2 in the morning here. So I'm gonna be off, and until next time, watch the last few videos I've done for those who've not seen them. Anyways, until next time, stay retro.